The vast emptiness of space stretched before the horizon like an infinite canvas, dark and mysterious. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood at the bridge's central command, her dark eyes scanning the holographic displays that flickered with a constellation of data points. The experimental deep space exploration vessel hummed with a quiet intensity, its quantum resonance drive pushing the boundaries of human technological achievement. Proximity sensors are picking up something unusual, Lieutenant Omar Reyes called out from the sensor station. His fingers danced across the holographic interface, tracing strange energy signatures that didn't match any known stellar phenomena. These readings, they're not natural. Elena leaned forward, her military training and scientific curiosity converging. The Horizon wasn't just another exploration vessel. It was humanity's most advanced prototype, designed to venture where no previous mission had dared to go. Equipped with adaptive quantum technology and a revolutionary sensor array, the ship represented the pinnacle of human innovation. "Magnify Sector 37 Alpha," she commanded, her voice steady and controlled. The holographic display expanded, revealing a shimmering distortion in the fabric of space. It was unlike anything in their database, not a natural phenomenon, not an astronomical event, but something else entirely. The distortion began to take shape, transforming from an amorphous blur into a structured, crystalline formation. Dr. Camila Noack, the ship's lead xenobiologist, approached the display. "Those geometric patterns," she muttered, "they're too perfect to be random. This is technological, not natural." Before anyone could respond, the ship's communication systems erupted with a series of complex mathematical sequences. They weren't random. They were a message, encoded in a language that was simultaneously mathematical and linguistic. "It's a first contact scenario," Omar whispered, his excitement barely contained. Elena's mind raced. First contact protocols were clear, but this was unprecedented. The transmission wasn't aggressive, but it wasn't exactly welcoming either. It felt more like a complex mathematical probe, testing their technological capabilities. "Prepare response matrix," Elena instructed. "Use our quantum encryption protocols. We'll respond mathematically, demonstrate our technological understanding without revealing vulnerabilities." The Horizon's quantum computer began processing the incoming transmission, creating a response that was both a greeting and a technological handshake. It was a delicate dance of information, revealing just enough to communicate intelligence without exposing weakness. Suddenly, the holographic display transformed. Where before there had been abstract energy signatures, now a crystalline structure materialized. It was beautiful and terrifying. Geometric perfection that seemed to pulse with an inner light. This was no mere ship, but something more. A living technological entity. A voice, if it could be called a voice, emerged, not through sound, but through direct neural transmission that everyone on the bridge simultaneously experienced. Unregistered technological entity detected. Quantum signature. Unknown origin. Preliminary assessment required. The tone was neither threatening nor welcoming. It was clinical, analytical, the communication of a civilization so advanced that individual interaction seemed almost inconsequential. Elena stood her ground. "This is Captain Elena Rodriguez of the human exploration vessel Horizon. We come in peace and with scientific curiosity." The crystalline structure pulsed. Waves of complex mathematical equations surrounded their transmission, analyzing, processing, judging. "Humanity," the transmission continued. "A species classified as technologically nascent. Your presence in this spatial sector is unexpected." Lieutenant Reyes whispered, "They're sizing us up." Dr. Noack's scientific mind was racing. "This isn't just a ship. It's a collective consciousness, a technological civilization far beyond our current understanding." Elena knew that humanity's first impression would be critical. One wrong move could mean destruction, or worse, complete dismissal as an irrelevant species. The next few moments would determine not just the fate of the Horizon, but potentially humanity's entire future in the galactic community. 12 hours after the initial encounter, the research facility on Luna Base buzzed with unprecedented activity. Dr. Marcus Winters hunched over a holographic display, his fingers tracing complex quantum algorithms that danced like living entities of light and information. "The transmission data from the horizon is unlike anything we've ever seen," he muttered to his colleague, Dr. Aneka Patel. The Quantum Research Center had been mobilized the moment Captain Rodriguez's initial report arrived, transforming from a theoretical research hub to humanity's front line of technological defense. Aneka adjusted the holographic projection, revealing intricate patterns of energy that seemed to breathe and shift. "These aren't just communication signals," she explained. "They're living mathematical constructs. The Valorian Collective, as we're now calling them, doesn't communicate. They negotiate through pure information." Marcus nodded, his mind already racing through potential responses. The human team had discovered something extraordinary in the transmission. Subtle inconsistencies that suggested the Valorian Collective, despite its apparent technological superiority, had fundamental limitations. They process information linearly, Marcus realized, incredibly fast, but still sequentially. Our quantum computing allows for simultaneous multidimensional processing. The Luna Base's primary quantum computer, nicknamed Prometheus, began running complex simulations. It wasn't just analyzing the alien transmission. It was creating adaptive response matrices that could anticipate potential interaction scenarios. Outside the research center's reinforced windows, Earth hung like a blue-green jewel. Humanity stood at a precipice. First contact with a civilization that could potentially wipe them out with a single transmission. "We need a strategy that demonstrates our capabilities without appearing threatening," Aneka said, her fingers dancing across multiple holographic interfaces. "Something that shows we're not just technologically competent, but creatively unpredictable." Marcus smiled. Creativity, the one variable no advanced algorithmic civilization could truly predict. Back on the horizon, Captain Elena Rodriguez received the first quantum-encrypted transmission from Luna Base. Dr. Winters' instructions were elegant in their simplicity. Demonstrate adaptive complexity. Show them we're more than just a linear threat. The ship's quantum drive began a series of impossible maneuvers. To the Valorian Collective, it would appear as a complex mathematical demonstration, a living proof of technological capability. The horizon didn't just move through space. It danced through quantum probability fields, creating navigation patterns that defied traditional understanding of movement and spacetime. Initiating quantum resonance sequence, Omar Rice announced, his hands moving with practiced precision. The ship's exterior began to shimmer, not just with light, but with complex mathematical representations. Each movement was a statement, each quantum shift a sentence in a language of pure potential. Dr. Camila Nowak watched in fascination. "We're not just responding," she whispered, "we're communicating in their native language of information and potential." The Valorian Collective's crystalline structure pulsed. The human vessel's response was unexpected. It wasn't aggression. It wasn't submission. It was something entirely different, a demonstration of potential that existed beyond traditional technological understanding. Adaptive complexity detected. The Collective's transmission came. Probability matrices, unexpected. On Luna Base, Marcus Winters allowed himself a small smile. Humanity's greatest weapon had always been its ability to think beyond established parameters. The Valorian Collective was about to learn that technological superiority didn't always mean predictability. The quantum gambit had begun. The space between star systems transformed into a battlefield of information and quantum potential. The horizon hung suspended in a region of space that defied conventional physics, surrounded by the massive crystalline structures of the Valorian Collective. Captain Elena Rodriguez studied the holographic displays with intense concentration. The initial quantum communication had evolved into something far more complex, a multidimensional negotiation that was part technological exchange, part existential chess match. "They're probing our systems," Lieutenant Omar Rice reported, his fingers moving rapidly across the quantum interface, but not in a way we've seen before. It's like they're trying to understand our thought processes. Dr. Camila Nowak approached the command center, her latest analysis clutched in her hand. "It's more than a military encounter," she explained. "The Valorian Collective doesn't comprehend conflict the way we do. They see technological interaction as a form of evolutionary dialogue." On Luna Base, Dr. Marcus Winters and Dr. Annika Patel had been working nonstop, developing what they called the Adaptive Response Protocol, a revolutionary approach that turned human unpredictability into a strategic weapon. "Traditional defense is linear," Marcus explained to the emergency committee. "The Valorians expect predictable responses. We're going to give them something entirely different." The plan was audacious. Instead of trying to match the Valorian Collective's technological superiority, they would demonstrate something the aliens couldn't comprehend: pure, unbridled human creativity. Back on the horizon, Alina received the quantum-encrypted transmission from Luna Base. The strategy was unlike any first contact protocol in human history. They weren't going to fight. They weren't going to submit. They were going to surprise. "Initiating creative matrix," Omar announced. The ship's quantum computer began generating a series of complex, seemingly random mathematical sequences. But they weren't random at all. Each sequence was a carefully crafted representation of human problem-solving, showing not just technological capability, but the ability to approach challenges from unexpected angles. The Valorian Collective's crystalline structures began to pulse with increased intensity. Their communication shifted from analytical to something closer to confusion. Probability matrices diverging, their transmission indicated. Technological paradigm, nonlinear. Dr. Nowak watched the interaction with scientific fascination. "They're trying to categorize us," she said, "but we refuse to be categorized." The horizon began to move in patterns that defied traditional understanding of space travel. It wasn't just navigation. It was a form of communication. Each quantum shift told a story of human adaptability, of a species that didn't just survive challenges but transformed them into opportunities. On Luna Base, Marcus Winters explained the deeper strategy. "We're showing them that technology isn't just about power," he told the emergency committee. "It's about potential, about imagination." The Valorian Collective's response was unlike anything humanity had anticipated. Their crystalline structures began to shift, creating complex geometric patterns that seemed to pulse with a form of curiosity. They weren't preparing for war. They were trying to understand. Alina Rodriguez understood the moment perfectly. This wasn't a battle. It was a conversation, conducted in the language of quantum potential, of mathematical possibility, of pure human creativity. "Continue adaptive response," she commanded. "Show them who we are." The horizon continued its quantum dance, each movement a statement, each shift a declaration of human potential. The boundary between conflict and communication blurred in the depths of unexplored space. The horizon hung suspended, surrounded by the massive crystalline structures of the Valorian Collective. No longer adversaries, but something far more complex. Captain Alina Rodriguez watched as the ship's quantum interface began to translate something unprecedented. It wasn't just a message. It was an invitation to understanding. "They're attempting a full cognitive exchange," Dr. Camila Nowak reported, her voice a mixture of scientific excitement and cautious wonder. "Not just data transfer, but a genuine attempt to comprehend our fundamental nature." On Luna Base, Dr. Marcus Winters and Dr. Annika Patel monitored every quantum fluctuation. What had begun as a potential first contact scenario had transformed into something revolutionary, a dialogue that transcended traditional notions of communication. Lieutenant Omar Reyes tracked the incoming transmission. "It's not linear," he muttered. "They're trying to understand us by experiencing our collective potential." The Valorian Collective's crystalline structures began to pulse with a rhythm that seemed almost emotional. Humanity had done something entirely unexpected. Instead of responding with aggression or submission, they had responded with pure, unbridled creativity. Cognitive mapping initiated. Came the alien transmission. Paradigm. Nonlinear adaptation. Source. Unexpected. Elena understood the profound moment. This wasn't just first contact. This was a fundamental re-examination of what intelligent life could be. The Horizon's quantum computer began generating what could only be described as a living narrative, a multidimensional representation of human history, not just technological achievements, but moments of creativity, of overcoming impossible odds, of transforming challenges into opportunities. They showed the aliens the Apollo missions, where humanity looked at an impossible challenge, reaching the moon, and simply decided to do it. They demonstrated the development of the Internet, a global network born from the collective imagination of countless individuals. They revealed medical breakthroughs, artistic revolutions, moments of unexpected kindness, and extraordinary resilience. Dr. Nowak watched in awe. We're not just showing them our technology, she realized. We're showing them our spirit. The Valorian collective's response was unlike anything anticipated. Their crystalline structures began to resonate with a frequency that suggested something close to respect, perhaps even wonder. Humanity. Their transmission came, defined not by technological capability, but by potential for transformation. On Luna Base, Marcus Winters allowed himself a smile. They finally understand, he told Annika. We're not just another species to be categorized. We're a civilization of potential. The final transmission from the Valorian collective was both a conclusion and a beginning. They would not attack. They would not correct humanity. Instead, they proposed something unprecedented, a collaborative exploration of collective potential. You are an anomaly, their message read, and beautiful anomaly. As the crystalline structures began to recede, the Horizon held its position. They had not conquered. They had not been conquered. They had done something far more important. They had been understood. Captain Elena Rodriguez looked out at the vast expanse of space, understanding that humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to imagine beyond current limitations. The universe had just gotten a little smaller and a lot more interesting.